Our next inductee is Susan Williamson, class of 1971. After graduating from OTHS as an Illinois State Scholar, Sue Williamson attended Eastern Illinois University, graduating cum laude with a Bachelor of Arts degree. She later received a master's degree in curriculum and instruction from National Louis University, and her plus 30 designation also in curriculum and instruction at Olivet Nazarene University. She returned to OTHS as a teacher in 1979 and served here until her retirement in 2019. She was the English department chair for 7 years, directed 88 plays for OTHS over 40 years, and was a speech coach for 14 years. As a speech coach, she took 40 students to state, with 12 making the finals, and as play director has had 3 former students win Emmys, several performing in Las Vegas. One made it to Broadway, and another one won multiple Oscars in art production for Disney. Sue has written 6 plays and co-authored 7 children's plays. She received the LaSalle County Excellence in Education Award in 1998 and again in 2015. Was OTHS Teacher of the Year in 2015. Received the Omni Arts Theatre Award in 2015 and was the student selected OTHS Homecoming Parade Marshall in 2018. And in the interests of fullest possible disclosure, I'm one of Mrs. Williamson's Emmy winners. She was the director of some of my fondest memories at OTHS, among them the musical production of Fiddler on the Roof, and coaching my state qualifying humorous duet act in 1995. In 2020, Mrs. Williamson she introduced me during my Hall of Fame induction, and I now have the high honor of welcoming her into the OTHS Educational Hall of Fame. Please welcome Sue Williamson.
Congratulations to my fellow inductees. It's wonderful to see you there. Thank you, Kane. Thank you, Dan, who nominated me, and for your kind words a moment ago. It is so good to be back in this space that I love. It's no secret, I adore the theater. And it's no secret that I also love this rather startling quote about the theater. The natural condition of the theater is one of insurmountable obstacles on the way to imminent disaster. All true. We have had floods, tornadoes, fire. It was not on your watch, Mike, just to let you know. We've had a broken foot during the last days of dress rehearsal, stitches in the mouth, the flu, COVID, and there may or may not have been a sword that sort of went through the fleshy part of an arm. And if that did happen, Mike, it was not on your watch. And occasionally, inadvertently, accidentally, a microphone may have been left on. The microphones the kids wear during performance, it may have been left on when the student left the stage and went to the bathroom. You know, it's amazing, the amplified sound of a flushing toilet as it echoes through this auditorium. All obstacles on the road to imminent disaster. But there's a second part to that quote, and it goes, what do we do? Strangely enough, nothing. What do you mean nothing? It all works out. How? It's a mystery. All those things that happened, and hundreds more, all worked out, and I don't know how. We didn't have a bench. If somebody got sick or injured, We had to go on. We can't reschedule our game to play at another time. And somehow it all worked out. But tonight there's another mystery. And I have to say it's kind of a personal one. I'm not exactly sure, although I'm humbled and honored, I'm not exactly sure why me. I worked hard, I'll give you that, faithfully. But there's a lot of people that do that with their jobs. So as I started to ponder this mystery, I went back over the 40 years of directing, thinking. And that's when I realized it's not actually 40 years. That's 40 years for Ottawa High School. It's actually 60, because I started directing when I was 10. Now, most 10-year-olds want to play professional football, guys, or they want to be a doctor, or they want to play professional baseball, or maybe even be an orthodontist, my granddaughter. But a director, I'd written a play based on 101 Dalmatians by Disney. We won't talk about copyright. And I took it to my 5th grade teacher and said, I've written a play. Can we put it on? Can I direct it? Mystery. She said yes. And she goes, we'll have your classmates be all the characters. And somewhere in my little audacious soul, I went, do we have to? Can I go ask the 8th graders? They're older, they'll be better. Mystery, she said, yes. Down the hall I went, asked the 8th graders, will you do this play? Mystery, they said yes. Even when I told them, you have to bark, and you have to get on the ground on all fours. It wasn't a big deal. We did this little play at recess a couple of days later. I didn't even tell my parents. When I finally did go home and say, hey, Mom, Dad, we did this play. I wrote it, I directed it. My mother, hearing that I had 8th grade girls crawling on the ground, barking like a dog, was immediately concerned for my emotional and mental well-being. Was I being bullied? Were they being kind? Did I have any friends left? And my dad went, wait a minute. And he said, honey, look at her. She's been riding the bus home for a couple of days now. She's in one piece. And she's smiling. And my dad looked at me, good old German farmer. He looked me in the eye and he said, I have to know one thing. Did you have fun? And my 10-year-old answer was, and when I remembered that story, I kind of went, oh, maybe that can be the reason. When kids walk down that Hall of Fame hallway by our cafeteria, they're going to know why teams win and their photo is there. They'll know about Oscars and Emmys and inventing things. And they're going to go, who's that old girl? And I hope somebody's around to tell them, oh, her? She found a way to have a career where daily, despite obstacles and disasters, she could go, I know, we get a lot of those moments when we find that person to love. And the birth of our children and our grandchildren, mine are here. When you hold your elderly parent like they once held you. My mom is recovering from a stroke. And even a simple but beautiful sunset. But to daily have a job, a career, where you get to do that, I want somebody to tell those kids, find that career, find that path, so you can do that despite what happens. That's my hope. And I want to thank all the people that maybe will help get that message across. And I want to thank first my parents who kept supporting me even though I was directing 8th grade girls to be dogs. I want to thank my children, Jacob and Amanda, and my grandchildren, Lily and Liam. They've had to share me with everyone else's children their entire lives. Thank you. I want to thank colleagues who became friends as they helped me on the stage, most particularly Sally Taliani, Roger Am, Sarah Reckmeyer, Rosemary Walter, and so many more that I can't even mention. I want to thank administrations who supported me and put out the fires. Again, not on your watch. And I want to thank the Educational Foundation and the Hall of Fame Committee for giving me this final chance to stand in this very mysterious, wonderful place and go, thank you.
Now, I just want to point out, I'm up here reading from a script. I'm obviously reading and I'm talking to you, and that is no reflection on Sue Williamson's direction of me throughout my career. It's just that I have to keep to a timetable, so I'm making sure that I don't go over that time. But she's also set the bar by doing that entire presentation without a script, so that deserves some extra special recognition there too. So please forgive me for having to follow mine.